Hey guys, MoneyMan300 back for some more Forza 6 videos here, and I got a new tune up. I mentioned this in the video yesterday or today. These might come up on the same day, I don't know. But this is the Ferrari 250 Cali Class C, and I made it for this week's league, but it is competitive in Rivals and on just regular multiplayer C-Class lobbies, and that's what this is here. This is just a C-Class lobby, and we're going to try and do this live, see how this goes. We are on bot. Oh, look at that, starting in the front. This car is fast and loose, so it's going to be interesting on this circuit here. But it's going to get out of the gate, and it's going to go. I'm going to try to just stay to the inside here so I don't get killed in this first turn. Stay out of the carnage. There's a GTR, looks like a Nissan GTR 73 behind me that probably might out horsepower me in this straightaway, but there aren't going to be a whole lot of cars that in general are faster than the one that I am driving. So I let out of that turn really early. This guy's I'm gonna stay on the inside. I'm gonna give this up. Just a little bit there. A little concentration through that part, not a lot of talking. Looks like he's pretty loose too. Keeping it clean though. He's a good driver. It's always nice when you can get in a little race with the driver like this. I'm gonna downshift and just play that off just a little bit, just to play it nice and cautious there. Good turn there. He got off of it a lot there. I was not expecting that. Got a good run out of that. We got a nice little three-man race going on here. Looks like we're all kind of drifting this turn here. Got a muscle car behind me. We've got a race going here. It's good stuff right here. Three guys all driving pretty respectfully. Nobody ramming each other to try to get ahead here. Kind of left that guy in the dust. My guess is he's going to catch up here late, but see what we're getting here. I actually downshifted there. Not quite sure why. Hanging in there, hoping maybe he'll make a mistake here at some point, and I don't. I outbrake him pretty much in every turn, and the muscle car catches me in every turn too. So it's gonna be an interesting second lap we got here. This car's loose like that. I mean, you can spin it, but it's easy to control, right? I mean, the back end doesn't get way out to where you can't get it back into shape. As long as you got the nose pointed in the right direction, the car tends to follow it. You know, the back end snaps into shape. The back end snaps right back into shape really well. As long as you're not too crazy with the throttle, just kind of ease your way back onto it. As long as I just drive solid lines here. Solid lines do not include hitting walls. I can see the guy's shadow. I don't want to look behind me right now. Try to feather it through there a little bit. Keeping it clean. We got this. Don't get out of shape too much there. This is where you could get yourself in trouble. Little love tap there from behind. No big deal. He's racing aggressive. I don't mind that. There's the mistake I was looking for. Hopefully I can out horsepower this guy in this end here. That's too bad for that guy. He's got to be upset with himself right now. The good thing is I do have the top end on him, so just keep it clean here at the end. He's right there. One last turn here to finish it off. And we're going to come in with the win. That's a pretty good race. Races like that are a lot of fun. We had some, we had some solid, clean racing to send these guys a message telling them good race for that. That one, let's see what our lap times look like. I have no idea. I wasn't racing particularly quick lap times. I don't know where 2:29 puts us at out there. And plus, I was kind of following behind that guy. I don't know if I would have been any faster, really. There was a couple times where I had to slow up a little bit. So probably a couple seconds, 2-3 seconds faster than that if I really could have ran out in the open a little bit more. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the racing part of this. Let's hop on over to the garage and take a look at our build and our tune. All right, so here we are over in the garage. Check that car out. I love this car. It was one of my favorite cars in Forza 5. It was my favorite D-Class car, and it's super cool and still super cool in Forza 6. I think the black wheels work on that. Let's hop over here, though, and take a look at our build and our tune. Upgrade shop, and here we go. As always, the build and tune are shared out there. You can go out, and if you don't feel like going through all this yourself, you can grab that and just download it. So also, if you download it, a little trick for those that don't know, you can download it and then come in here, and as soon as you hit on something, it's going to say that it's locked. You hit remove, you go in, and you can see all the parts that are purchased. So it's a quick way, even if you're going to just do it by following the video or however else, quick way is just to download it. And that'll buy all the parts for you. They'll all be purchased, and it'll show which parts you have, and it makes it really quick to go through here and get everything equipped. So just a little tip in case you didn't know. Anyway, let's go over here. Aspiration conversion. I got nothing. I don't think I have anything in here. I know I didn't do a drivetrain swap, and I certainly didn't or can't do an engine swap. So we are all stock in the conversion area. Aero. I do have the Forza front and the Forza rear. You might be able to get away without doing the front on here and gaining some speed. To be honest, I didn't try it. Is it heavier? It's actually slightly lighter. It does take your handling number down a little bit, but to be honest, this is just the front. Probably wouldn't hurt that much. You could even go, that takes you to 501. I said you could probably even get more weight out of it by doing the Ferrari front end. You might have to either change your wheels if you wanted to do this, or I don't remember if I have a drive line in there, but those are some options. I might play around with that myself, actually. So anyway, I do have the adjustable aero in there, and I have the race rear as well. I think you're going to want this either way, just because that back end likes to get away from you a little bit, so I would leave that. Bumper, I did take that bumper off of there. I just think it looks cooler that way. I like the clean look without the chrome on it, and the black wheels and all that. So I went that route. And again, just a little bit of weight out of that. Certainly you could put the bumper back on and take weight out elsewhere if you wanted to. All right, let's hop over into the tires. Tire compound, we don't have any. You could go up here. I did play around, but look at the difference here. That's 58 PI. It basically takes us into a completely different build. If you want to add some tire compound in here, you can make this kind of a mid in between, a short and a long track, maybe a little bit, something that would work on the short tracks as well as the long tracks and give you some more traction in here. But you're going to have to sacrifice some of the power, but you can certainly do that and it'd still be a very competitive car. Now, without having the tires on there, we do have the full width upgrades. I believe I have the full width in the front and the back. Nope, we're in the middle. How much more? I could have went here. I don't know why I didn't go there. It's interesting. Could have went here and probably just with some weight adjustments in the wheels potentially gave this thing a decent amount more traction, but I'm not going to mess with it because I really like the way the car handles as it is. But that's another option that you guys could play around with to maybe get a little bit more traction in the back. I have the Momo Rush wheels on here. I think kind of in the middle, looks like. Yeah, somewhere in the middle here. The black wheels. So we got those, and let me look at our sizes. I believe we have 19s in the front and 19s in the rear. So 19-inch wheels front and rear. Next up is our drivetrain. I don't have a clutch. I don't ever put the clutch on there. We do have the race transmission. So something about that. I actually built this with both. So here's your 3 PI you could potentially get back. But the race transmission adds an extra gear. It makes it a 6-speed versus a 5-speed. I don't put race transmission on very often. When I do, it's for that reason, to get that extra gear. So I am using, and I do have it tuned to use all 6 gears in there. You could drop down, get 3 PI back, use it other places like making your rear tires wider if you wanted to, is something you could play around with. But I believe that you do get the value out of the race transmission, at this time. And you definitely do from the, you want the, I didn't even look to see what the street was, if that's a 4-speed. I know this is a 5-speed and this is a 6-speed though. So that's the transmission. We do have a slightly upgraded driveline. I could not go any further. So this is where we ended up. Always check this. I usually check this at the end to see if I can get some free weight out of that. It's really the only thing that does the driveline is improve your weight. And then, as always, you have the race differential. There's no penalty in putting that on there. It's a free part. I don't know why anybody wouldn't put it on there. And it allows you to then tune your diffs. So brakes, we're going to have full race brakes. We're going to have a whole bunch of race stuff in here. Race springs and dampers, race front roll bar, race rear anti-roll. We're not going to have any chassis. This thing just goes crazy with the PI. I don't know if it helps that much with the handling. I haven't tried it, but that's a lot of PI to put the chassis reinforcement in there. And we do have the weight reduction. We get that looks like about 162 pounds. That does help. So you want to do that. In the engine, I think we have quite a bit of stuff in here to take this to the top of C-Class. We have the race intake. We have race intake manifold, throttle body. I did not do the carb. I tend to steer away from things that add weight. So a carburetor is one of those that can add weight. So I usually stay away from those. Come back to it at the end if I still need a little bit more. Race ignition, race exhaust. Exhaust is always a good one. The order that I usually do things in is there's a centrifugal supercharger. I upgrade that first. Second, exhaust. Third, I do, either, it depends on the parts, ignition, intake, air filter. Those are all kind of in the same boat. And then I go to displacement. So that's kind of the order that I go through those. But anyways, we got race exhaust on there. I rarely ever upgrade the camshafts and valves. So we'll leave that. I don't know what it says, camshafts and valves there, and then it's valves next. But anyway, we do have race valves in there, and we have race displacement, and we have race pistons and compression. Do not do oil and cooling. This is another one that will add weight. So and usually it's quite a bit of weight. So 2136, yeah, it adds 20 plus pounds to the vehicle. So I usually and I don't do flywheels either. I haven't found any use for these. I don't do them in any car, and they just add PI on there. So that's all of the parts. Let's get in and take a look at the tune here. 28, 27.5, pretty standard for rear wheel drive cars. Ended up at 5.5 for the final drive ratio. I did not mess with any of the individual gears, so you can feel free to do that, but I didn't touch that. Let's do that to make our graph snap back into spot so you can see that. But anyway, 5.5 for the final drive ratio. Camber, there's a lot of camber here than I've been doing. Now, what I did is I actually pulled over, since I liked the Forza 5 version of this so much, I actually downloaded and pulled over my tune from Forza 5 and then didn't adjust a whole lot of this, so it actually worked fine with 3.5 and 3.0 in this vehicle. There's most of them, a lot of the vehicles, especially grip vehicles, tend to oversteer into a turn and things like that when you have that much camber and you get some negative effects. This one worked fine, negative 3.5, negative 3.0, and I left no toe and left the caster at the default value. 24.6 and 11.76 is where we ended up on the roll bars. You're gonna see the same theme here, 495 and 343, trying to keep that rear end nice and soft. I had the right height all the way down, which did not seem to be a problem. Got the rebound at 10.2 and 9.0, so same kind of thing. Everything we're doing here is just to keep the rear end a little softer than the front to control the wheel spin and the oversteering. This thing oversteers kind of by nature, just to the fact that we don't have a lot of traction with the tires and things. So 10.2, 9.0, 2.0, and 1.4 for our damping. The aero, take all of that out. Class C, don't need it. Doesn't really do you that much good. So we take that out. In most cases, you might see with the car upcoming that I actually do use a little bit. But next up is our balance at 47 and 125. This is a little low. But I actually liked the way that the car was braking, so I left it. I don't know if it's different from Forza 5 to Forza 6 or it just feels different, but I ran 200% most of the time in Forza 5 with braking. That I tend to lock it up a lot using 200% in Forza 6, so I've kind of backed that off to around 150. For whatever reason, I have this one at 125. So we'll move over to our differential, pretty low, 15 and 8, and again, that's just to help control coming out of those turns. So that is all of our build and tune, and you got to see a pretty good multiplayer race in there that was a lot of fun. This is a great car. This is something you can use on all those speed tracks. Gonna be a go-to type car when Road Atlanta and Bathurst, as you saw there, and Road America, and any of those that require some speed but still have some ability to turn in there. So I'm going to end it with that. Thanks for watching, guys and gals. We will catch you guys in the next one. Later.